Right. So again, this is sixth in the series. We have discussed about CNN just right now as well, and in the earlier classes, the entire stuff for CNN was discussed. So I'll just want to go for taking a short recall on whatever we have done out of this agenda. So we've gone for introduction to deep learning, human brain functioning, replications, concepts, TensorFlow, Keras, writing the first neural network, model compilation, model training, model evaluation, convolution, pooling, entire CNN. That is it. So till model number 5, we have covered everything and in depth. So any doubt into this going on from your side, I will ask it again, not just to limited to CNN, but to entire this model number 1 to 5. Any doubt going on from your side into this? No. Okay. So next in the module is next in the series is recurrent neural network. That is what I have planned to cover today. So we'll be going to talk about what is recurrent neural network, what is recurrence, what is LSTM, long short-term memory, and different gates involved into that. So conveyor belt, what is this data conveyor belt, and why we need to use RNN, what is RNN, how to use it, and all the stuff related to that. Okay. So let's start with one thing. I want to give you a sentence. I want to write here a sentence. Okay. Or else I'll write it on your Skype chat itself. So what all I'll be writing is, suppose I have a, okay, I earn 20,020 TWENTY per month and spend 1 lakh per year. Suppose this is a statement I had given you. Now let's suppose this is the statement again which I had given to my neural network in order to tell me what will be my end result saving of an entire year. So you can see that 20,000 per month. Okay, fine. So 20,000 per month multiplied by 12, which will be 2,40,000. Out of that I spend 1 lakh, and my entire saving would be 1.4 lakh. Okay, I'll just say it 1.4 L. So this is what it's supposed to be. But how would we pass? I want both of you to please unmute yourself if there is not so noise at the back. Can you? So that we can take it a kind of discussion into this. Okay, something wrong going on. Fine. So I gave a statement. Now, how would you read a statement? You read it one by one by one by one by one. Exactly the same way we will pass it to our neural network. So we will pass the first instance, then the second instance, then the third instance, then the fourth instance, then the fifth instance. What was going on into our CNN? We were not talking about the number of images. So this was image 1, or let's draw that with blue or red, some bigger size. Image 1, image 2, image 3, image 4, and this is what our neural network looks like. Okay, which has some input place, input layer, hidden layer 1, hidden layer 2, hidden layer 3, and the output layer. So you are passing first input, once done, then the second input, then the third input, and then the fourth input. And as you can see that these inputs were not connected to each other, like there was no sense of connecting second input with second image with first image, or fifth image with fourth image. No, these were independent images which needs to be trained for the model, and then the model need to learn the parameters out of it, and then at last the model would be able to predict giving any other image, and it should be able to give the class, okay, this is rabbit, this is elephant, this is banana, this is apple, this is a toy, this is a car, and all of that, whatever the sort of objects there are, right? But what happened in the case of RNN is, suppose with the help of NLP techniques, with the help of text pre-processing techniques, I have tokenized this entire sentence into several words. So my sentence is that I earn 20,000 per month and spend 1 lakh per year. Now what will be my saving? That's what my question is. So I want to train a neural network model which will give me or which can suggest me which particular kind of bike I can buy, or which particular type of sports car I can buy, or whatever, like something like this. So this is what I want my neural network to predict, depending on my earnings, saving, expenses, and totally built over saving, which is not directly given, but it's the information regarding the saving is given. So I want my model to take care of 2-3 steps, and then at last come up with some result that according to your saving, which is calculated from your user input, not directly, this particular bike you should buy, which will come up with your budget and will be good for you. Okay. Now, in order to do that, I want to separate my word like this is I earn 20,000, then again one word for rupee. More bit. Okay, so rupee, and then and spend 1 lakh per year or so. Now, if I'll pass it individually, the sentence I earn 20,000 per month and spend 1 lakh per year, or the sentence I earn 1 lakh per year and spend 20,000 per 1 lakh per month and spend 20,000 per year. They will look exactly same to my neural network because there is no sense. The individual tokens should be same, but there is no relation amongst them. So whichever position I can give it. So now they both look exactly same. But now you can see now what is my earning? 12 lakh in a year, and what is my expenses? What are my expenses? 20,000. So I am basically saving 11 lakh 80,000. On the other part, I was saving 1.4 lakh. Now I am saving 11 lakh 80,000. So 11.8 lakh. It's a big difference. But my neural network is not designed to capture this particular difference, right? So what according to you we can do into this? What can be done in order to solve this particular kind of problem? I want answers from you. Like, what do you think? What can be done in order to work on this? I'm waiting for the answers. I'm expecting the answers from you only. That what according to you should be done in order to solve this particular kind of problem, or else any guess. Like I'm not asking for right answer or wrong answer, but what according to you is right into this particular case.
Hello.
Yes, Raghunathan.
I didn't get your question. Can you
So
repeat
my
it?
question is that I had given you few words.
Yes.
Okay, so I had given this sentence particularly to you, right? And being a kind of neural network designer, you gave this sentence, tokenized this sentence into words, okay, and you passed your neural network something like this. I earn 20, sorry, I shouldn't have pressed enter, but okay. Per and so on. You just give all the words one by one by one by one by one. And the end result came up like this is also sent again, and this also turned out to be the same thing because whichever position you give, that doesn't make sense. Whether your neural network take this firstly or this one or this one or this one, that doesn't make any sense because these images were non-related to each other, non-dependent over each other. The position were not dependent. Right here the position is dependent. Now what to do? consecutive words can be linked together. Can you give me an idea that what need to be passed depending on this sentence? Mehak, can you write up an idea that what according to you should be done according to this sentence or the upper sentence? What sort of consecutive words we can pass together? And Raghunathan, I want your trials as well. So you should try giving your answer. It be right or correct. Just don't worry about that anymore. But then if we
So
can pass, okay, Raghunathan, just 1 minute. So if we can pass these two words or three words, then we can even pass entire phrase. But the problem with that is a neural network does not understand phrases. It understands, obviously it understands number only. So we can convert text into number, not a phrase into number. A phrase needs to be tokenized. All the lexicals from the phrases should be tokenized via the help of NLP tools and so. And then the phrase should not be passed to the neural network, but the one by one words should be passed. Now, what else can we do? We cannot club the words together. And how would we get to know for every sentence? How would we tell the neural network that okay, these are the words, these are the words, these are the words? Who will tell that? Okay, so what you
sir,
have
if
given
I
is kind of more of a form type of stuff that you have an earn input a place where you need to give your earning and a spend input phrase where you need to give your spending. So that is not possible. We are talking about phrase. We are not having a user panel where a user can give the input or so. Yeah, coming to you, Raghunathan.
sir, if I pass a word earn, after that it takes an saving, it takes an earning money and stops. If I then it finds a keyword with a spend it.
Okay. So I don't want to make something for one particular stuff only. Now it is not a requirement. It is not a condition like my model will be getting all the sentences like this only. If it will be getting sentences like this only, then why do I need to pass the sentences? We can even tokenize it on simple Python and make a value like x is equals to 20,000. So that will become our CSV data. Okay, x1 is equals to 20,000, x2 is equals to 1 lakh, which is this is annual and this is monthly, or we can even club that together to put it monthly. So I'll put it 2.4 lakh. Okay, and then 1 lakh. Then y needs to be predicted. So depending on y, we can club that with the bike. No, that is not our task statement. Is we want to work on phrases, and phrases does not follow a given structure. If it will follow a given structure, then there is simple requirement of Python to pull off the phrase and then extract the features out of it and then make a CSV. So this is not we are looking for. Again, Mehak, how did we tell the model that these are the consecutive words? How will we be able to tell the model? And this is not one particular syntax only, that all the phrases would be like this. So if you'll ask one more person, so you will get the output input like this. I earn 1 lakh. So you will get like my earnings are 20,000, but I waste 1 lakh per year. Now what you will do into this? They mean the same, but for us, because we are highly trained humans with an experience of 25 years, 30 years, 40 years, but not to a kid of 1 year. For a kid, this line and this line means entirely different. For us, we know that what the person wants to speak. That a person is frustrated with the expenses and is just listing it like I waste 1 lakh per year, so that means it is the expense. So that is the difference we need to bridge. We don't want our neural network model to be behaving like a kid of 1 year. We want our model to behave like a matured adult who knows that these two lines are same, but how did we tell this particular stuff? Because there is not such possibility of only these two lines. Let's take a brainstorming. Let's discuss about this as much as we can. I love to just kill off people's enthusiasm. I just want to see that how much enthusiastic you are in order to problem solve it. Well, what could be done next? Think of it. No idea. Any wild guess what can be done? Just think of it. Just don't think of whether it is possible or not possible. Do Keras have a package for this? Do sklearn and TensorFlow have package for this? Just don't take care of that. Just think of it, whatever it is. Like if everything would be there, then there would be nothing like innovation. So I just want to get into your innovation part. Then what is particularly your innovation with this? How much innovative, how much creativity you can put into your designing part, designing of the network. And obviously if you'll put more and more creativity, it'll become more and more better. Now let's see what else you have for this particular example. I'll give you one more example. Suppose the name of the person is Rohit. So Rohit drove the car. Okay, or simply Rohit drove his car. Now this sentence is turned out to be his car drove Rohit. So the first is simple sentence, normal car, normal person, just a kind of driver. He just took his car, drove it from one point to another and just walked away. The second example is a kind of self-driving car, that the car is driving up automatically and is taking Rohit from one point to another. Not Rohit taking car from one point to another, car is taking Rohit from one point to another. So there is a big difference. The context entirely turned off. Now, what can we do into this? There is no keyword, no phrases, no grouping, just 4 words of sentence, entirely different meaning. This sentence is something from 1980s, 1990s. This sentence is something from after 2015 or so. So big difference. And even there is no such phrase identification type of mechanism into it. Think of it, what is different amongst them? What is different in this particular sentence and this particular sentence? Think of it. I need answers from you, then only I'll be moving on. Otherwise, there is no sense of actually rushing up into things.
Sir,
I
if
want
we
you to
find
be.
our
Sorry?
sir, if we find like a object
Mm-hmm.
such
Okay.
that if we can predict that if we are using like a like categorizing a verb object act
Well, so that is individual words. Now, individual word can be an object, can be a subject, can be a verb, can be a modal, can be a helping verb, or whatever. Like all the grammatical components are possibilities for an individual word. But we are talking about the position of an individual word. If it will be placed in the starting, that makes something else. If it will be placed in the middle, that makes something else. Simple enough example. No phrases, nothing. That is for me. I'm saying, okay, or something like that phone is mine. Is that phone mine? Big difference in both of them, assertion and question mark based statement, questioning statement. Now what can be done? Mehek, any idea from your side? I expect at least one or two more answers from you. No idea. Well, so let's move on. I will be describing. So what we can do is, I want to erase all of that. Let's take, we have 5 words in a sentence, or simply 4 words in a sentence. Okay, something like this. Is that phone is mine? Is that phone mine? Same words. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what we need to do is, this is what our neural network look like. Suppose, okay, we give the input, we get the output. What we can do, we'll give the first input simply, we will get the output. Now second input is not only given, this thing will also come to the neural network, and then this thing will also come to the neural network, and this thing will be omitted. Okay, this is the second part. Then some output will be there, then this thing will be omitted, and then that output will come, and the third input will come. Okay, so then the third input will be omitted, the output of third will come, and the input from fourth will come. Okay, right, with this we can build the context exactly the same way you must have learnt your grammar, that if an helping verb is placed in the starting, it means a question mark. If a like WH word is placed in the starting, it is a question mark statement. If like is not is there, so not is after helping verb, so that is a negative statement, or something like this. These are the tools and tips and tricks for grammar. Exactly same thing we need to implement right here. So we need to think of our neural network exactly same as our human brain. So the same way we taught English grammar to a 5th year, 6th year, 5th class, 6th class student or 10th class student, the same way we need to train our neural network. So what we need to do is, we need to make a sequence. So it will look something like this, that the same neural network, I'll just erase entire of this. I want to just describe that this is what my neural network look like. Okay, so first input, output, to output will come, not went away, it will be stored. Second input to the neural network, and the output again of the previous one, and this output will go to the input of the third. The neural network is same, exactly same architecture. And then this is the final output. Now this is what makes neural network a kind of having a sequence, and this entire stuff is known as recurrent neural network, because the neural network gets executed in the repetition with something like this sort of structure. You give an input, okay, you get an output. This output also goes for the input part. So you started from here and you ended here. First iteration. Then again, second iteration start from here with the input, with the output of the first one to be the input of the second one, and then it won't keep on going and going and going and going and going. This is what basically you need to work on. Right? Is it making any kind of sense to you? Is this thing entirely clear, that what is recurrent neural network, RNN? Raghunathan, is it clear?
Sir, can you explain again, sir? If we are repeating our inputs.
I'll explain again. I'll explain. Don't worry. Don't worry. Let's wait for Max question or answer or response, whatever she's typing, and then I'll explain again. Okay, fine, fine, fine. I'll explain entire thing to again. Think of your image. What was your image? Your image was of 100 by 100 size. You agree to me on this? Okay, so I want you to think of it like a 4 by 4, 2 by 2 size, sorry. Okay, so you have kind of four number. So your convolution neural network input shape would be 2 by 2. It will be basically having four numbers. Okay, so your starting neural network, your first layer of neural network would be having basically four nodes for input. Okay, and then hidden layer 1, hidden layer 2, convolution pooling, normalization, and all of that. And at the last, you will get some output. Okay, now what do we want to do in this RNN? That instead of 4 neurons in the starting, we want to have it 5 neurons in the starting, into which the first value will be null. This would be the this would be the value in the starting. Okay, then some output will come. Then your image got changed, so you have shifted from this image to some other image. Let me just draw it with blue color. So you have shifted back from red color to blue color to some different image. Now what will happen? You will get these four images, so four features of images, and this output right here, and then it will give you some output. Then you have shifted back to green color image. Sorry, the third image. Okay, so now you will be giving these four features and the output of blue one actually. So you will get output into blue one as well. And just so you will get some output as well. So into the green part you need the output of this blue color, and this green will be also having some output. Sorry, the green output would be somewhat else, not from the blue. Now suppose you moved on to some pink color image or whatever color this is, violet or purple or so. Then you will give this, and then your green color's output will become the input for this particular part. Okay, so we started with red color. We gave the first input this to be null. We got the output on this red maroon color. Then we gave the blue image. So the red color's output was taken into this for blue color's input. Right here I mentioned. Then we turned on to this green image. So blue color's output was taken into this for green color's input. And then on the basis of that, we got the green color output for green. And this is with this basically what we are doing is we are maintaining the sequence, and we are just going on it in the iterative manner, recursive manner, and this is why it is known as a recurrent neural network. It is a kind of recursive approach it follows. Is it clear? Yes. Okay, Raghunathan, is it clear? Okay, now it's your turn again. I want to torture you again that what could be the drawback with this particular type of neural network apart from time and space and all of that, but what could be the logical drawback, not the space complexity, time complexity, but logical drawback? Think of it. This is the architecture. Think of it. The accuracy can go on decreasing if the first time it is low. Not actually. So it will definitely be low on the first time because with the first word you cannot go with the accuracy part. It will definitely be low, obviously low. But it will not keep on decreasing. The reason for that is that you are not just relying over this. Not just relying over this, you are relying over another factor as well. And you have picked some important stuff. This is actually quite relatable to what the drawback of RNN is. Just try to think of it a bit more. You've actually picked the right sense, but something fishy right now. Something is not clear. What else could be done? Just think of it. Yeah. So Raghunathan, what according to you could be the like possible negative point of this particular architecture? Take some time. Take 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's 7:47 right now. I'll wait for 7:50. Think of it that what could be the possible drawback of this architecture, and giving you an hint that Mehak, actually you are on right track for this stuff. This is something quite relatable to that, but not exactly. Accuracy is not the concern. Something which causes that accuracy is the concern. Any idea coming up in your mind? Any sort of idea? No idea. Raghunathan, Mehak, at least write some yes or no so that I can move on. Anything to you, Mehak?
Sir, training maybe difficult.
Difficult as in?
Hello.
Yeah, difficult like?
So apart from other model, it may take difficult to
Your idea is
process.
obviously training a deep learning model was more time consuming than training a machine learning model, but it gave you something positive. That's why people are working on deep learning rather than machine learning. Okay, so if there is something worth spending that time, spending that money into it, spending that system cost into it, then it should be definitely admired. So that worth we are trying to find, that what is so much worth into this, and what is the problem with this one actually as of now. Okay, so Mehak was typing something and he just disappeared. Well, so I will be explaining, let's wait for her to type and then I'll be moving on for the explanation part. I'm unable to relate it to gradient descent, but I feel like it has some connection. True enough. Like your 2 points, both of them are solid enough. I'll tell you the answer, and then I'll tell you that how they are related, and even you will get it by your own. That there is nothing much to discuss about that. So the problem with this architecture is that by the span of time, just listen to me what I'm saying. Your blue color's output is depending over maroon's output. Your maroon color output is then this green color output is depending over blue color, which in turn is depending over maroon color. So your purple color output is depending over green color, which in turn is depending over blue color, and which with this maroon color. So now you are just stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking information ahead and ahead and ahead. So there will be a time when actually your model parameters, that the current state will be dominated by the previous state. Your information is so damn complicated on a later on scale. So suppose we talked about four word sentence or 5 word sentence, that is fine. But when we will be talking about a paragraph, just like you have written, I am unable to relate it to gradient descent, but I feel like it has some connection. So now some connection with what? It is with gradient descent. This is what my grammatical sense tells me. And why I get to know about it? Because I have read the sentence. What if I'll read it from like here only? I feel like it has some connection. So what connection? What you are feeling like with some connection, like I will not be able to get if I'll not have read the entire sentence. So now your information will keep on stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking ahead and ahead. So we don't want the entire information to be stored, and there would be time that your some of the information is not even required, just like this too. So this two is a kind of helping word which has no logical meaning into it, right? As of now, it's just a kind of grammatical filling word into the sentences, or else like. So I feel it has some connection, or I feel like it has some connection. It just increase the weight or decrease the weight. Not so much big connection into it. The entire sentence remains the same. Entire flow remains the same. So now for that there is a solution for this particular kind of problem, which is known as LSTM. So RNN stands for recurrent neural network and is also known as STM, short term memory. LSTM is directly known as long short sorry my bad long short term memory. So STM stands for short term memory, LSTM stands for long short term memory. So very short term memory is connected for the longer part. So RNN can give you the output into 5 words, 6 words or 7 words, but LSTM will give you the output for 30 words, 50, for entire story even. Okay, so basically RNN and LSTM goes hand in hand when it comes to implementation, when it comes to concept level dealing, because there is architecture. So we would better to go with LSTM cells. So the entire architecture is known as implementation of RNN with LSTM cells. Okay. So what is LSTM? Let's talk about it first. So this is what your neural network is. You give the input, you get the output, you pass it again. This is what RNN is, I guess. It's very clear to you, right? What is different in LSTM? It add a block here. Okay, this is a kind of filter which will either drop your value or pass your value. This filter is known as forget gate. FG, forget gate. FORGET, forget, that non-remembering sense, forget. Okay, so this filter is known as forget gate. So it basically, the cleaner version of LSTM looks something like this. You give the input, so it gets processed, so it goes to output, okay, this particular output part, but as well it goes to forget gate, and then from forget gate it goes to your input again. It's a kind of LS. Okay, so LS means you have an input which will be giving us some output, and then that output will come back to again input, but with a filter in between, this sort of filter. Okay, so no such calculation here, it is a kind of black box only. Okay, so whatever calculation was there, it has happened right here into this layer. See. Okay, and you came out, then you gave the pass the value to forget gate. Forget gate will either drop it or keep it like this. So it's a kind of activation function again, nothing so different into this. Okay, so majorly used activation function for this LSTM is tan h, for this forget gate part, not for the layer part, but for this forget gate part. So this is what our LSTM simply looks like. Now, are you clear with what is LSTM? Now, with the sentences going on, you will only keep the information which is required, and you will keep on dropping the information which is not required. It will keep on going to waste. No more required, no more required, no more required, and keep on going to waste. So this is what your LSTM look like. Is it clear? Any doubt into this? Any doubt to any one of you? How will it filter what is required and what is not? Okay, how it knows it is needed or not? Exactly the same question from both of you. The thing is that this is the beauty of neural network. If we will tell each and everything, then we could have designed if else instead of a forget gate. The forget gate will take the weight of the sentence, will take the correlation of the sentence with other words in the sentences, right? And will do all the sort of pre-processing, and then will come up with some sort of result. What this particular gate will be doing, it will be checking that whether your given data is correlated to the existing data anyhow or not. If it is not correlated, leave that. If it is already there, if it is very highly correlated, just like I gave my age at one moment of time and I gave my date of birth at one moment of time, so it will keep date of birth and remove the age, because date of birth is there, then what is the need of age? It is exactly the same thing. Okay, so with some or the other formula, we can calculate that it is highly correlated. Then the other thing is, if I gave my age and I gave my mobile number, so now both of the things have nothing to do with each other. So it will keep both of the information. But if that phone number makes any sense to the thing which we want to predict later on. So where basically we use RNN or LSTM, we use it for a series data, more of a kind of time series data, right? So if I want to predict that whether it will rain in next 5 minutes or not, so it is not just current temperature which is highly responsible, it is also the things of last 2 days or 3 days which is responsible in telling whether it will rain or not. I hope you understand this. I want to predict whether it will rain or not. So I just don't need the current data only. I need lot of things like past one day data, 2 day data, 3 day data, or the geographic data for entire 10 years or 15 years or so. And then I'll be able to predict, okay, this will rain. Current data is highly important, but it is same in a full of series manner. Want to predict that how much would be the sale of a kind of cafe coffee day store for tomorrow. So it is not just today which is depending on it. It is a lot of series full data which is just telling us out that how much would be the sale, and not just of 1 week or 1 month. It will be an entire year data or entire 10 years data, which will let us understand some pattern, and same for the machine, which will let machine understand some pattern out of it. So then the machine would be able to identify that whether it is a cat or dog or something. Exactly the same way our forget gate, when keep on getting trained and trained and trained, will be able to identify that whether to keep this information or not. And once get trained, then the entire information would be sorted in such a manner. Fair enough? Any doubt into this till now? Any doubt to any one of you? Raghunathan, Mehak, any one of you? No. Okay. So where particularly we can use RNN? So RNN is used in time series analysis data wherein our info is highly relatable on time and is performing a kind of series type of action. Okay, so where one is related to another and the another is related to next another and so on in a kind of series. This is where it is basically get in use, basically used highly in RNN part. We use it for text prediction, so you can check autocorrect in your keyboards or so, or when you write email it goes for autocomplete. Similarly in the LinkedIn as well it goes for autocomplete, and in different websites. So that autocomplete is built over the analysis of the previous words and lot many things like the current mood of the typing person, depending on some last 10 words or the context going on, the chat conversation context and all of that. So that thing is also a kind of application for machine learning, deep learning, and for that RNN is one of the best example to be used, or LSTM with RNN. Right, so should we write the code for this particular stuff? Should we move on to the code part? Or you want to discuss anything else as well into this? And what are the advantages? It maintains the series, it maintains the hierarchy. And what are the disadvantages of RNN? That it basically, the seriesful information dominates the current information. So for that we came up with LSTM. LSTM also has some disadvantages, that obviously it is not the best best algorithm in the entire world. It will keep on striking the information in the forget gate if it will make any kind of falsification in the values. Then that value can be discarded even if it is supposed to be stored, or if it will be stored even if it is supposed to be discarded. So entire thing would be depending on a forget gate and the quality of data we are working on. So to kind of RNN, and I would be moving on to my desktop. I have some diabetes file with me, if I can remember this file. So I want to copy this file if I can. Okay, let's run that. I hope it's working perfectly fine. Oops, lose it. Perfect. So now I want to write an RNN into it. Although this particular kind of problem is not to be worked with RNN. RNN usually work with text part, but something not in the scope of this particular, that is NLP. That is a very different ball game. So like, do you guys know about text and all of that stuff? Just give me a yes or no. Entire of the NLP, whether it be tokenization or stemming or lemmatization. Okay, my voice is breaking. What I was saying is that, do you guys know about what is NLP, NLG, NLU, the lemmatization, stemming, stop words remover, tokenization, lexical analysis, and all of that, bag of words, glove package? Just write me yes or no whether you know about these things or not. No. Okay, Raghunathan? No. So basically what is the problem with this is that RNN used to work with text itself majorly, but we don't know much about text. So I would be just taking an example on the diabetes. So what my task is to teach you the architecture of RNN. So similar way, you can learn NLP and implement the same thing on NLP part. I just told you that if you are able to get the X-train, Y-train, X-test, Y-test data, that is entire thing for data science and any sort of pre-processing. So whether it be image, whether it be number, whether it be anything. So we just saw earlier that how to get the images. Now NLP is something very different ball game, a big stuff. So that we will not be able to cover in the entire. Even we haven't covered the image processing. Just how to load the images. Image processing is a different ball game, entirely different. Similarly, natural language processing is something different part. But as a start with the basic number data, and we learn if we explain next then what to do next into R. specific to iOS. Let's work on to that. I would be opening my terminal right here. RNN implementation.py. Okay, let's run that. Fine. So I just have called it into root location. So this is the file I want to work on. Now, into this particular file, I need to have pandas. I need to load the data. So once I load the data, I need to work on x is equals to plus y is equals to df dot drop. What is the feature value into it? Outcome. Okay. This time I need an x, not an y. Okay, I have x and y. Then from sklearn dot model selection. Okay, so let's print that. Fair enough. So I want to convert that into an empire array. And let's see what will be the output. Okay, so we have our training data with us, we have our testing data with us. So 614 is the training size, 154 is the testing size. So let's remove this print. Now let's head over to model creation. So for that I need to have from keras dot models import sequential from keras dot layers import lstm dense. Okay, this is what I need. Now what I need to pass into this particular stuff, I need to work with that model is equals to sequential model dot add, which layer to add, lstm. Okay, in lstm I need to pass the filter value, the that will be 128. So I want to train it with 128 long short term memory cells. Okay, input size input dim is equals to, what is the input dim? State. Okay, activation. I should have better worked with this lstm on 2D data. Let's see. And then with single layer of lstm I want to add dense right now, for now. Okay, so model dot compile. So what will be our loss, Mehak? Give me the value. Yes, binary cross entropy, because we have declared the output layer to be having only one neuron, and that even with sigmoid. So that's it. Model dot fit x chain. I'm very getting a sense that this might raise an error of some 2D stuff. That's not how it says. Okay, I missed a bracket here. Hmm. When checking input, expected us to have 3 dimension, but got narrow with 2 dimension. Fine. So it will not going to be work on 3D, 2D stuff. I want to have the 3D part only, and for that I would be heading on to that particular data set. Okay, so this is the data I would be calling, and I'm taking the concept from train.py again. Okay, so just like we have loaded the images. This is what our data looks like, and the data is stored in this data part. I have 4 classes. So now I need to turn up few things. Firstly, my input dimension should be changed to input shape. I told you that it will give me some 2D 1D error. The shape is 100 by 100. Okay, by 1. Let's take it 100 by 100. And let's remove this line. Okay, at the last I'm having length of y dot columns with activation to be soft max and with the entropy to be categorical thereafter. What happened with him? So did he just left as of now only? Yeah, possibly. Okay, so he's here. I'll just continue. Wait.
Sir,
Yeah, no worries. So what I did is I just repeated a bit of you for you. I just have copy pasted that data loading part, and then I turned up with changing my model a bit more. So I gave the size of 100 by 100. I changed the model.compile with loss to be categorical cross entropy instead of binary cross entropy, and I changed the last dense layer. Now let's run that. I still have some doubt into this. Let's run that. No, it's working fine. So it's getting trained, and you can see the loss is actually fluctuating. It's not constant. It's actually fluctuating, and the accuracy was even highly fluctuating. For this particular one, it was 50,000. Sorry, 50,000 nails. 0.5, 50%. The loss was lesser, then it turned big, then less, then less. So it's what I want to display, not accuracy, not loss, because we don't have even data. We that is it. What we have, entire of the data is just 82 KB, and when we talk about images, it is nothing like 5 kb of first image, this image, this image. So we have like 2 2 3 3 images. So loss and accuracy we cannot talk about into this, but what we are talking about is the architecture. So what I have is LSTM. So let's make one more add one more LSTM layer into this. I want to make it 64. Wait, let's not just add this, let's summarize. Firstly, let's see what is the summary saying. Where is the summary? I guess I forgot that brackets. Hmm. So when we go for 128, it turned out to be then 50, dense 50, and then dense 4. This is what our architecture look like. What if we'll be having a dropout here? Model.add dropout. I'll tell you what is the dropout. Let me add a layer here. So this is what I'm looking for. So when dropped out, it still have the output shape, but obviously the rows, number of rows would be removed, and then dense and then dense 2. What was wrong when I have added LSTM here? Model.add LSTM 128 activation is equals to redo, and that is it. So something wrong. If compatible with layer 2, expected in dimension 3 but in dimension 2. What if I add here 100 101? So it will not work out like this, obviously. Going wrong right here. Okay. My bad. I am missing the sense of LSTM actually. No, what is this? What I have done is basically now this will work according to LSTM. What is LSTM? Return sequences is something basically which will be returning that entire part again to the next LSTM. If we do not have it, we cannot add more LSTM layers. So only last LSTM layer is about to is allowed to not have this. Otherwise, all the other layers should be having this. If I'll not put that, it is basically missing a kind of dimension. See, it will say that LSTM layer 2, layer LSTM 2. So LSTM is a layer name, 2 is the number of layer. Expected end dimension 3 got 2. So that 2 dimension part is this only, 100 by 100, or whatever's come out after this filter stuff. Then it was missing this LSTM, this return sequence. It was looking out for syntax which was not present. I just want to close this, it's not required. Okay, and this as well. So return sequences you need to do. If I'll make one more LSTM layer, let's suppose, and if I put it like 128 again, let's see. It's working. And if I'll add this into this one, it's not adding up. And if I'll add it right here, again, keyword argument not understood, return sequences nowhere found. So we need to have it at the right place, and then only the dimensions will be preserved. If I'll remove this one, it will say that the error is there with the dimension, that this particular dimension was expected to be 3, but the dimension came out to be 2 only. And if I'll add this, then and only then I can add more amount of LSTM layers into this. Otherwise it will not work. So our input shape, wherever we have mentioned input shape, that particular part should also have return sequences into it. Then only it will be basically, this is basically giving that whether our LSTM is with that output return to input or without. So if it is without, then it is no more an LSTM, it is just a kind of dense connection. If I'll implement it with return sequence, then it will work perfectly fine. Otherwise it is nothing but a dense neural network. So let's not talk about loss and accuracy, because there is zero loss as of now, overfitted data, but still less on accuracy. So whatever, like that's the flow with falsification with the data part. Now it's your turn. You go ahead, implement that, and let me know when it will be done. So you need to implement that on the exactly same that object recognizer we were trying to build that time on the same data. Shift it on extend widen. I want you to write that stuff again instead of copy pasting, because that will improve your the code comfortability. You will be comfortable with lot many codes. When you will face one error only once, it is less likely to have a solution in your mind for that. But if you will face one error 100 times, it is highly likely that you will be having the solution in your mind. Whenever it will come for the next time, you need not to search for Google or look out for someone to go for that. So your turn, go ahead, implement that, and then we'll be taking an evaluation call for this. I'll wait for that part. Just let me know whenever it will be done. So is it done, guys? Anyone of you have done that? Okay. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir, Nathan.
So I have one doubt.
Yeah.
After a certain number of epoch, there will be no loss value distortion.
Yeah. So because you must be doing it on dummy data, right? On the smaller data, right? Or wrong? Are you doing it on full scale data, Caltech or so, or are you doing it on dummy data?
Dummy data sets.
Exactly. So dummy data is like 10 images, 5 images, 7 images. So the model will not take time to give zero loss into it. So zero basically means none, that this value doesn't even exist. There is no loss for that because the model have captured it completely. So when you will be working on commercial data, on the full scale data, then you will not get this sort of problems. Don't worry for that part. I told you that. Just leave, ignore loss and accuracy part. Work on your architecture as of now. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir, Nathan.
Sir, I didn't know what in LSTM player you have passed that parameters 128. What it means?
Okay. I'll come to the explanation. Let first make as well to complete this code. Then I'll come to the explanation part. I'll open this file for you in VS Code so that it will be clear to you, clearly visible to you. So now like you can see that how easily we have shifted from one algorithm to another without any change in the data part. So data remains syntactically different. I'll just scroll it off a bit, and we shifted from one particular model to another so easily. Okay, what I said is that you can easily see now that how easily we have shifted from one algorithm to another without any single unit change in our data. So we haven't changed our data, we shifted the model, and on the other side we have changed the model. Okay, on the other side what we have done, we have changed the data as well without any change in the model. So from diabetes we have shifted to this image part. So it is very like plug and play type of stuff, very easy to work on. So you need to import dropout right here. Keras.layers import LSTM dense dropout, all the three things. Can you please mute yourself if there's some noise at the back of someone? Done. So it's done from both of the parts. Now let's talk about what all we have done. What we have did in this particular stuff. So we took basically an image data. I would be just calling it right here. Right. So we have loaded the data. We took it into X and Y. So this was the image. Image 2, image 3, and image 4. So we just put it on the X itself. Okay, just like 2D components only, 2D arrays. Then we built a Y for them with value 1, comma value 2, comma value 3, comma value 4. Okay, and then we built the label encoding part of Y. So it is basically transferring from one dimension to two dimension. This Y. So all of them have 1 or 0 or 1. Also, like obviously there will not be two ones in the row. So 1 or 0 or 0 or 0, 1, 0, something like this. Okay, so this is what our X and Y look like. Then we had our X and Y, so we splitted them into training and testing parts. So this part is known as training, and this part right here is the testing part. And right here again, so this part is the training, and this part is the testing. Now we have train and test data. So then what we need to do is, we need to pass it into an LSTM with the first layer to be an input layer with the shape of 100 by 100. So wait, 100 by 100. So there will be 100 by 100 nodes, like 10,000 nodes right here. Okay. Then there is LSTM layer with 128 only nodes. That is very short actually when compared to 100 by 100. Only 128 nodes. So this is what that 128 means. Okay. And the entire dense connectivity would be taken care. Then what will be going to happen? We have added a dropout. So out of all of the nodes right here, 20% of them would be dropped, and rest of the 80%, so 20% is dropped, rest of the 80% will pass on to the next layer. Now what is next layer? Next layer is again an LSTM with only 32 nodes. Okay, so 32 nodes of LSTM. Then what will be going to happen at the last? Again there is a dense connectivity. So this value and this value would be highly correlated with both of them. So we are implementing LSTM cell right here, and then we are moving on to the dense layer first, and then the output layer. Okay, right. And then the entire output from here will be passed on to this particular part again. This is how does a basic LSTM architecture look like. Printed out the summary. We compiled it on categorical cross entropy because there are multiple classes. Optimizer to be Adam, metrics to be accuracy, and all the number of unique y's would be placed here with the activation to be softmax, not sigmoid, softmax. So that means that this particular 0 to 100 will be distributed as a total of 100. The values would be distributed amongst these given classes, or whatever number of classes there would be. The model will adopt it by its own, and that is why it is having categorical cross entropy. So this 128 means that it is having 128 hidden nodes, input shape, activation function to be ReLU, and return sequence to be true. So this will return the sequence, otherwise it will give us the dimension error. Fine. Any doubt into this RNN implementation, LSTM implementation as well? So we cleared off the theory part. Yes, Raghunathan.
Sir, in all model we are using activation function, sir. Why including dropout activation?
Okay, so activation function is already there. What dropout will do, it will take top 90%. Okay, I gave the wrong split. Actually, it is not 20 and 80, it is 90 and 10. So it will remove the bottommost 10% node, whatever, whether, so after even activation. So when activated, so the values of activation function would not be just like positive or negative. We are using ReLU activation. So it will be having the value like 0 to the ReLU would be having the value from 0 to 1, or not, sorry, 1, 0 to infinity. So the bottommost 10% nodes with lower level of activation, that means simply the confidence, that will be dropped. So only top 90% would be ensured. So we can have one more layer of dropout in order to remove the number of nodes right here. We can have a dropout right here. That is what a dropout does. So if I'll write here 0.2, so it will keep 80% and remove the rest of the 20% amongst the coming out data. Right? Is it clear? Is it clear to you? Okay. So what is the meaning of dropout? What is the meaning of drop? Simply, what have we done into this drop function C right here? Not here, onto the diabetes part. What we have done right there, we were dropping the column, and when we say dropout as a layer, so that layer is dropping the neurons. How much? It is dropping 20% of the neurons. Okay, so with this dropout, we can drop simply 20% of the neurons of our entire neural network. Right, this is what this dropout will be basically doing for us. Now when I say 0.1, it will be dropping off 10% neurons. When I say 0.2, it will drop off 20% neurons for me. So rest of the 80% neurons will be taken care. Is it clear now?
One doubt, sir. If you are using a dropout in commercial data, it will reduce your accuracy or prediction.
Not exactly. It will reduce your chances to get overfitted. It will not reduce the accuracy. So there is a kind of trade-off. So if you want more data, so basically when you work on more data, you face few challenges. Let's talk about that. So this is the example of big data, well, not that big data term, the bigger data, and this is the example of smaller data. So the problem with that is, let's talk about advantages of this and advantages of this. So the advantage first is accuracy. Advantage into this is time taken. So advantage of accuracy will not come. So in order to bridge between both of them, right, this will lead us to overfit, this will lead us to underfit. So if we'll make something like a hybrid of them, then we will lead up to the mix of overfit and underfit, that is known as best fit. Okay, and on the cost of removing some accuracy, we are getting the model to be trained faster. 20% of our neurons have been dropped, so we are again in the mid of that. So it is a kind of trade-off right here, and the possibility increases that your model does not get overfitted, not even underfitted. It is giving you the best fit results. This is what the comparison and the trade-off is. Right? Any doubt into this till now? Any doubt from you, Mehak? Is there any doubt going on at your part? Well, so let's head on to our curriculum. We have talked about what is recurrence, what is connected neural network, what is memory preservance, why to preserve the memory, how to write the basic first RNN, and we talked about LSTM, logic gates, data conveyor belt again. That the data passing on is known as the data conveyor belt, and why do we need to preserve the data for the longer part. And then we wrote our first LSTM neural network. So I want you to take a look at the module 1 to module 6. Is there any doubt going on? Because we are not left with much of the syllabus on our part. Module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 as of now. So we have total 9 modules. So we are done with 6 modules as of now, and we'll be spending much of the times into project from now onward. So that we'll be getting good amount of insights into project as well. We have learned a lot. We like the data, the info on your mind must be, you're skipping the things. You'll start skipping the things if you'll not work along. So now I want you to work along on your project and then come along into it. So I hope there is no such doubt remaining onto this entire RNN part and LSTM part. And I got no's from all of you. So see you then. Take care. We'll meet the next time and then we'll be working on to this. Yes, Raghunathan.
Basically, I've done that till now. I not clear